Hey there, welcome to my studio here in New York City. I am Daniel Norton, photographer, here for Adorama, and today we are looking at the brand new Fujifilm Instax Wide 400. This is an update to the Fujifilm Instax Wide 300, which was around for, like 10 years. What a popular camera that was. I love mine. It was really, really popular, and Fuji took what worked with that camera and moved forward with this one. We've got a new body design, kind of retro square, real sturdy in your hand. And we have a few features that you want in an instant camera. But before I get into that, I'm just going to disclose up front, I have instant film in my blood. My very first camera was an instant camera. I love instant film. I think it's such a great way to shoot. If you are somebody that shoots primarily digitally and you want to mix it up with a little analog, instant is a great way to do it. And the Fujifilm Wide is great for this because it produces a nice large shot. The regular Instax is fantastic, creating a slightly smaller shot, but I think this will be a little more satisfying for somebody who's coming into it for the first time. So real basic, right? Automatic exposure, and it uses a flash when it needs it. Removing that from you makes it so fun just to use this camera. See what you want to see and capture it. You've got your lens here. When you pop it out, it turns the camera on. You have basically two settings. You've got just under 1 meter to about 3 meters, and then you've got 3 meters to infinity. So you want to do a landscape, you just, boom, you're there, right? When you're in this first mode, which is probably where you're going to leave it most of the time, you can put on a close-up lens, which we'll talk about in a second, to get in even closer and do some selfies. So some key features we want to talk about here. We've got a self-timer up here. You can do it in 2-second intervals from 2 seconds to 10 seconds. Effectively, you just hold it down to where you want it. I don't know if you can hear that click or not. And then you press the button and you'll get an image. Now, of course, self-timer, why are we using that? We've got two options here. One is, which I love as somebody who, if you've been around, knows I love to put my camera on a tripod. There is a tripod mount on the bottom of this. You could use a regular full-size tripod like you use for photography, but this camera is really lightweight. You could also put it on probably one of the bigger Gorilla Pods. Whatever works for you, gives you a little bit more options. But let's be honest, if we're running around the city like I did today with just this around my shoulder, I'm not carrying a tripod. So what if I want to use a self-timer and get a shot of me in an environment, or I want to get a shot of me with a group? Well, there's these little height adjustment, little toggles that comes with, 2 different sizes, and you basically sit the camera down, let's say on a wall or a fence, and you put these under and it will tilt the camera up. If you've ever set your camera on a wall, you know what I'm talking about. Generally, because of the angle, you end up cutting off everybody's head. But with that little bit of tilt, you're going to be able to capture the shot the way you want it. So little things like this are really what make this camera great. It's basically self-contained. You got this camera that comes with the strap, which you can see here. It comes with the close-up filter, which again, we're going to talk about in a second. It comes with our little height adjustments, and we're good to go, right? Throw this in your bag. When you close it up, you probably see the front element is protected. I mean, obviously you're not going to slam into it, but I just throw this in my backpack. I don't put it in a separate bag. It's just very convenient to use. So as noted, we get a close-up lens with this. This just clicks right on the front, nice and simple. And there's even a little mirror here. So if you want to do a selfie, so when you're looking at it, you can frame it up, make sure your hair looks good and everything, and make a nice selfie of yourself. If you're interested, write a comment below. When I graduated from college, that's how I took my picture for the yearbook. Let me tell you, my mom was not happy. But anyways, that's how we used to do selfies before they had reverse cameras. I love it. I guess on some level, if you were photographing somebody up real close with this, you could have them see themselves. I know some people like to see themselves when they're being photographed, like in a mirror, models do. I don't like to do that, but let me know in the comments below if that's something that might work for you. Insofar as the self-timer goes, right next to it, you can see there's some little LED lights. These will flash as it's counting down so everybody can make sure that they, smile on time. All right, so again, this is an Instax Wide. You can see it creates, the whole image is about 3x5. The image area in the middle is a little bit smaller. You can write with a Sharpie along the edges. You could draw pictures. A lot of times people do that. Why am I holding my phone, you might be wondering? Just for size. This is an iPhone. So you get an idea of how big it is. A little smaller than your phone. And again, this is fantastic. Lots and lots of times when I'm traveling around and I want to make a portrait of somebody, sure, I can say I'll email it to you, but it's great to bust out the instant camera, make a portrait of them with this as well. Sure, it's not going to be exactly the same as the digital one you make, but give them this. That way they've got something, right? Maybe even at Daniel Norton at the bottom. Well, put your own name, not mine. So all in all, Fuji definitely has a hit here with the Instax Wide 400. It's real simple to use. It's the kind of camera that you're just going to grab and have fun with. You're not going to overthink it. But yet, if you take some time, you can frame things up. If you've got beautiful light, or use the flash for that kind of punchy look. You can use the close-up adapter to get some details of things around you, or shoot landscapes, or as I mostly do with it, make portraits of your friends, have them write stuff at the bottom, or you write stuff at the bottom, draw little pictures. Let me know what you guys do in the frames of your instant photos. Do you do that or you just leave them plain? I'd love to know. Anyways, if you want to know more information about this camera, in the description below, you're going to find links to it. You'll find all the rest of the specs and everything else. Go ahead and make a comment if you have a question about it. I'll do my best to answer it. If you want to see that picture of me from college, there's a selfie picture, let me know and I'll figure out a way to share that. Thanks so much, Adorama, for asking me to do this. Like, as I said, I love instant cameras. And thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you get notifications, and I'll talk to you soon.